would not give me the option to add you.
Really?
I'm like, oh.
Oh, I know, it does. It drives you mad. But never mind. Anyway, I made it back with 2 minutes to spare because I've been down at my dad's this weekend. So we've just had a 200-mile journey and managed to get back with about 3 minutes to spare. So apologies for the state of me. This is just the way that it is today. I just look like this. It's just one of those things. But I'm here, so that's the main thing.
You look fine. So don't worry about that. I love the flowers behind you. Those are gorgeous.
Do you know, look, when I say I've just got back, look, if you look, can you see? Look, I haven't even unpacked. It's literally everything's just chucked. So, but never mind, I can sort it out later, so it's no problem.
That's right. For everyone joining us, this is Natalie Ford.
Hello.
And I met in another Facebook group.
We did.
And kind of got to chatting. And Natalie, if you would just kind of give us a little bit of your background, you know, when you got started, you know, what you've been doing up until you started working with other females, helping them, you know, kind of navigate their way through the overwhelm of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to join you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. So thank you very much. I have been an entrepreneur now for nearly 20 years. I'm not one of the people that says, oh, I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that was going to be the journey for me, because I really didn't. I was a mortgage consultant. I loved my job, really enjoyed what I was doing. And then when I had my children, who are 23 and 25 now, so we are talking quite a while ago, the financial services was still quite male orientated. So I would be in our sales meetings and I would be the only girl there, or I'd be the only one clock watching because the nursery was closing, and I'd be the last one getting to the nursery every single day. So I did that for a while and then thought there has to be a better way. I can't live the rest of my life like this, because no matter where I was, I just felt rubbish. Because if I was at home with the kids, I felt like I should have been at work. If I was at work, I felt like I should have been with the kids, and I was always the first one to drop them off at nursery, always the last one to pick them up from nursery. And I did do it for a couple of years, but then just thought, I can't do this. It's just ridiculous. So asked work if I could go part-time, and they were completely uninterested, completely unhelpful. So I just threw my toys out the pram and said, well, I'm leaving. So I left and then got home and thought, oh, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do now. So there's only so much cleaning that you can do, and there's only so much stuff that you can do. So I was at home for about 6 weeks and then thought, actually, if I go back to work, I'm going to go back into the same environment, as in I'm going to have to work full time to earn the money that I was earning. Or if I go part-time, I'm going to be earning hardly any money, and it's not going to be worth me doing. So what am I going to do? So then it was just literally, just by chance, me and a friend of mine had gone out riding on, we've got horses, so went riding out on the horses, and we just came up with this great idea that we thought it'd be really fun to start our own business. No idea what we were doing. So it was almost like, you hear women say all the time, oh, I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I always wanted to be my own boss. I kind of fell into it because I didn't know what else to do, more so than anything else. And then I was supposed to be doing it with a friend of mine, but then the day before we were supposed to launch this business, she got a job offer that she couldn't refuse. So I was kind of sitting there thinking, well, I've done all this work. I don't really know what it is that I'm doing, but I was 26, so I was still young enough to believe that I could do anything. And so I've got experience behind me. I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, just started it. So I started with a cleaning company, which I built. It grew very quickly, and the learning curve was massive, absolutely huge. So I had to just learn on my feet. And by which time I was a single parent as well. So juggling 2 children and a brand new business, especially that I didn't know what I was doing, And within the first couple of years, I'd got 14 members of staff. I'd got over 200 customers. So it really did grow quickly. So, yeah. And it's amazing what you can do, actually, if you just kind of like let it go.
Yeah.
It just kind of, yeah. Or either that, or just be a little bit too naive to worry about it.
Yeah.
Which I think I was a little bit back then. So, yeah, and then I ran that for 12, 13 years, but then very quickly got to the same position that I was in my job, in the fact that I was working 24/7 and just was drowning under things to do. And again, just ended up feeling really, just rubbish really at everything, because if I was with the kids, I felt like I was neglecting the business. If I was working on the business, I felt like I was being a bad mom. So I got back into that environment. So ended up I carried on running that. But then a friend of mine introduced me to network marketing, which I thought, oh, well, we'll give that a go then. I could see how I could earn the same sort of money, but maybe with a little bit more flexibility within it. So started that in 2005. So ran the two businesses alongside each other, which was a little bit chaotic, I have to say. And then ran that, and then just on my way through, really, I think I just kind of kept looking at different ways to make things better. So it was always a little bit chaotic. When I look back now, I wonder how on earth I got it all done. It was all a little bit madness. But then it was all about not necessarily working more hours. I had to work out a strategy that would help me to work less hours, but get more done. Mm-hmm. So I spent years and years and years looking at different ways to run my calendar, looking at different ways to fit things in, looking at different ways to organise my time. And that's the bit that I love. I love organising. I love lists. I love structure. I love a plan. I love all those sorts of things. So then about 18 months ago, I ended up having to go into hospital for an operation and had to have 12 weeks off, which I sat there, which didn't go well because I'm not the best patient in the world. So after about 2 weeks, I was like, oh, I need to do something now. And then, so just... That's how so for the last 12 to 14 months, I've now been working with female entrepreneurs, doing exactly that, helping them to get out of that world of chaos, overwhelm, frustration, and just drowning under to-do lists. And I work with them to do exactly that, to put the structure back in their time, organise their day, and make it work for them. It's not about a structure and it's one fits all. It's about finding something that's going to work for them, that allows them to grow their business, but also allows them to spend quality time with their family as well, because that is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, and that kind of leads me up to present day.
Awesome. So it sounds like you had a lot of trial and error.
Oh, loads.
Now. Yes, yeah.
Absolutely loads.
And a lot of times that's, from what I've seen, and the more people I talk to, is kind of what leads us into our businesses.
Yes.
And it's fulfill us and allow us to live the lives that we're trying to help others to live as well.
Yeah. And understand as well that it's not one size fits all, because that's what I used to do when I very first started looking into productivity and more effective ways of working. I was watching what everybody else was doing, and I was just trying to adopt what their structure of their day was, and ended up feeling even more like a failure because I couldn't make it work for me because my day wasn't like their day.
Yeah, but that's something that we do too, because we want to try and structure what we're doing after someone else, because if it's working for them, it should work for us.
Exactly, absolutely. And I absolutely love the online space, because like you said at the beginning, I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for online. So I absolutely love the online space and the potential and the opportunity that it gives us. But the one thing that I do think that it's the downside to it is comparative-itis. So you see what other people are doing, and you forget the fact that people are only sharing with you what they want to share. They're sharing the perfect bits. You can't see the chaos that's going behind. Well, you can see my chaos, obviously, but you can't see what's going on behind that.
Here too, so yeah.
I won't even show you that side of the table.
Nope, not even
Yeah.
side of the kitchen.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, right, I'll say sit in this tidy little bit. But understanding that it doesn't matter what other people are doing, and it doesn't matter what they're, and it is really, really hard, and it's easy to say, don't compare your journey with everybody else's, because you don't know where they started and you don't know where they're going. But it is really, really hard to do, but it is really, really important, because if somebody's doing something, let's say somebody's running a similar business to you, and you look thinking, oh God, they're getting loads of clients, why aren't I? Or they're getting loads of sales, why aren't I? And then you start comparing yourself. It's really dangerous, because you've got no idea the background and the history that goes behind their business.
Exactly.
So it is very much about staying in your own lane, staying on and actually being true to yourself and go, what's going to work for me?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, to be fair. So yeah, trial and error, loads of them. So I've tried different ways of getting a calendar. I've tried different ways of organising my time. I've tried different ways of working. And in the end, you have to do something that suits you and that works for you. And that's the only way, because it doesn't, if you're organising stuff and you do it for a week and then you go, oh God, you know what, this is just too hard, I can't stick with it, it's useless. Whereas if you find something that gradually you build on that works for you, that you can stick with long term, that's going to have a drastic effect, a positive effect on your business and your confidence and your belief in yourself and what you can achieve too.
Yeah, it's those small wins that we can do that actually help us build.
Yeah.
Which is really, really hard to, understand a lot of times, especially when you're in the middle of everything that you've got going on. And
yeah.
realizing that your journey doesn't look like anyone else's, and allowing yourself to, I'd say, feel that, and
yeah.
that, because we get online and we look at, like you said, everything that everyone else is doing and how successful they are. But it's also stepping back and saying, okay, how long have they been doing this? And what are they really sharing with us? Are they transparent? Do they really all have it all together? Because nobody really does.
I was going to say, I'll let you into a really big secret. Nobody ever does. And it's not necessarily, this is a lesson that I learned when I was involved in network marketing as well, because you'd see people that had come in and they'd rocket to the top within like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it was like, how on earth are they doing that? But you've got to understand the background that they had. They probably had, either they'd come from another network marketing company, or they'd got a ready-made network from another business that they'd been involved in.
Yeah.
So for them then to bring that into their new business means that they're starting probably 10 paces ahead of somebody that's starting from scratch.
Exactly.
So one of the biggest things with productivity, or one of the things that saps productivity the most, is the amount of time that you sit there scrolling on Facebook, and every minute that you're doing it is eating into your own confidence and belief in yourself, because you're looking at other people thinking, oh God, they're just so much better than me.
Yeah.
And it's just not true, because you could be starting here, they could be starting there, and they could be sharing. You have no idea what they're not sharing with you. Exactly.
And it gets crazy sometimes,
Well, it is. It's just sometimes about now. The only time that I go on Facebook is to connect with people that I want to connect with, and for me to contribute, and networking groups, and within my own group as well. I don't think, which I did used to do, and it's kind of almost addictive.
It is, yeah.
And it's a great way of procrastinating as well. If you're not sure what you should be doing, or you don't want to do something that you know you've got to do, I'll just double check on Facebook and see what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's too funny, but it's too true.
It is, absolutely it is. And I think it is, it's like you say, it's just being honest and going, right, do you know what, that's amazing, but it's just not going to work for me. What is going to work for me?
And I think having a coach that, understands that and can help you build those small wins.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's also sometimes it's about what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I was talking to a lady last, God, I forgot what day am I now. What am I now? Tuesday, last Thursday. And this lady, she's just started working with me literally last week. And she was like, oh my God, she said, it's just common sense. She said, I should know that. She said, in fact, I do know it. She said, but it's just hearing somebody else say it and putting value on it. So absolutely having somebody, when I'd been in business for 15 years, 16 years, I think, before I got a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked it out and I went right the way around the long route because I thought that I could do it all myself. I knew everything and I kind of just worked it out on my way. Since working with a coach, it's helped me to grow my own confidence in myself. And sometimes even just sharing ideas with somebody and sitting down with somebody and going, right, what about this and what about that? And sometimes it is stuff that you know, but it's just by somebody else telling you that or somebody else suggesting it. You go, oh yeah, what about that? I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, definitely having somebody there with you to constantly keep you back on those tracks is invaluable.
It is. It is so valuable. And so oftentimes we, as being women, we just want to take care of it ourselves and we know what we're doing. It's hard to kind of give that up and say, okay, maybe I really don't know what I'm doing completely.
Yeah.
So
And it's also control as well, I think.
I'm sorry.
I think it's also about control. We kind of want to control everything. So it's like, no, it's okay, I can do that. And no, it's all right, leave me, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas actually, if you just kind of delegate a bit and just go, no, actually, I don't know what I'm doing with that. I could do with a little bit of help.
Yes, absolutely. And I know personally, I can absolutely help everyone else see where they need to go.
Yeah.
But doesn't necessarily mean I can focus myself on that,
Yeah.
to get the results that I can get for other people. So
Yeah.
Everyone who's been before us in business, if they've hired a coach, will tell you, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do it as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just help you get everything lined out.
Also, I think it's about being honest and transparent with people as well. So I help women to get out of overwhelm, stop procrastinating, and stop drowning under to-do lists. That does not mean that I am Mrs. Productivity UK and that I get everything right all of the time, because I don't. It's like I screeched in here 2 minutes before we were due to go online. There's stuff all around me. But I just think it's just life. And if you embrace that and go, do you know what? I'm not perfect, but I'm just doing my best. And every single day, I'm just getting that little bit better, that little bit better, that little bit better.
Yep.
And that's like you said earlier about focusing on the wins. Give yourself a break. Don't constantly keep beating yourself. Oh, I didn't do that. I could have done that better. Or what about this? What about that? One of the things that I work with my clients is at the end of every day, 3 things that you've done today that you're either proud of or that have moved you closer to your goals, so that make you happy.
That's awesome.
So then you are focusing on the good rather than going, oh God, I didn't get that done today and I didn't get that done, and oh, that time just ran away with me and I didn't get that done. But if you, every single day, if you think about it, 3 things that you're proud of or that have moved you closer to your goal, even if you're doing that 5 days a week, that's 15 things every single week that are good.
Yes. And that will build your confidence.
Yes.
That will definitely build your confidence.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on, what you haven't done. A lot of the things that I've read lately talk about, listing the things that you're grateful for. because when you
Yeah.
do things that you're grateful for, you can't feel anger or overwhelm or, you know, guilt, you know, especially, you know, like you said, from when you're at work, you're guilty because you're not home. When you're at home, you're guilty
Yeah.
because you're at work, you know, and
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, we still do have that same kind of
Mm.
mentality to an extent, you know, if we're focusing too much on our business.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of posts about people, well, how do you keep balance? Well, you know, and I saw someone reply, I don't know that there really is a balance. You know,
Mm.
you may be doing this over here this well, and at the, you know, this over here is fell down here because you're
Yeah.
up here. So, you know, I don't know that there really truly is a balance, but just working with someone who can help us try and find at least some semblance of a balance, you know.
Yeah.
And get the things scheduled in that we need to have scheduled in for our families first.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
It's something I've tried to take on the last, you know, few months since, you know, really starting to get my business going well.
Yeah.
And something I tell everyone is sit down with your calendar and, you know, put your family events in first.
Yeah.
And then work everything else around it.
Definitely.
Like you said, and like we all know, the reason we're doing this is so we can spend the time with our families and so we can have that stability. So if a school event's coming up or, you know, a wedding,
Yeah.
go to your boss and say, hey, I need the day off.
Yeah.
And corporate doesn't care. You know, like when you told them, you know, I want to go part-time, they didn't care.
No, not at all.
Not their problem, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. And it's not about a two-way street. It's about, well, you're a number, so you've got to do what we say. One of the biggest benefits of being your own boss and running your own business, and it's like you said, there is no 100% perfect balance. So there's going to be some things that you have to do when you'd rather not be doing them, or there's going to be things that, you know, life's never ever perfect. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is you can choose for yourself what you're going to be doing. So are you going to make that sacrifice there because that means that you're going to be able to grow your business, and that then means that it's going to be more security for your family, and therefore that's going to give you what you want? Or am I going to do this? So you're able to choose what you want to do. And I think sometimes as well, when we say balance, we kind of think that balance is just like that, and it never ever is. It's like you said, it's like scales, you know, the old-fashioned scales that go like that. That's life. So I've done it before that. I am on fire. Everything's got done in my business today. I've got loads of calls booked. I've sorted loads of clients out. I've got everything in the business has been running absolutely perfectly. The house looks like it's been bombed. Nobody's got any clothes to wear. The horses are standing outside in the field being really grumpy because they haven't got fed yet. There's no food in the cupboard. There's all this. And then the next day, I'm like domestic goddess. The house looks amazing, but my to-do list for work is still on the desk, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. So it's just like that. And I think it is. It's like you say, it's just creating balance overall. So some days you've got all this done, but you know what, this has gone just carnage. And then other days you can sort this out, and then that's not quite right. So it's just accepting that that's just the way that it's going to be. But then, like you say about gratitude, it completely changes your outlook on everything. I don't know, it's Thanksgiving this week on Thursday, in the States. So absolutely, so I know definitely over there it's all about gratitude and being thankful, and but it completely changes your state of mind and the way that you feel if you can remember to be grateful for the things that you have now while in pursuit of what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. And it's actually kind of like someone I know went to a Tony Robbins event. Week, you know.
Yeah.
Of mine to eventually go to sometime. I don't know if you've heard of him, but
yes, I have. Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic.
Okay. And it said that it's actually something in the brain, which, you know, and actually changes your mood. You know, an actual physiological response.
Yeah.
And sometimes your brain, if you act a certain way, your brain will then turn and say, okay, wait a minute, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we're happy. you know, maybe
Yeah.
we're okay with where we are right now, you know, instead of us thinking all the negative. So, you know,
Yeah.
such a huge thing. Do you do mindset work with your clients as well to
Huge.
help with the overwhelm?
Yeah.
You know, I'd never even heard of it until this year, you know, really.
Really.
No, um,
Yeah.
because I was more in corporate,
Yeah.
and I knew being a Christian and studying the Bible and that, you know, works on your
Yeah.
mind. I'd never actually put it into the terms of mindset work.
Yeah.
That surrounds
Yeah.
you or, you know, your life.
Yeah.
Totally new concept to me.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, see, like in corporate, that I think network marketing helped me massively with self-development, personal growth, mindset, the importance of your mind and the way that you think. And sometimes mindset is 90% of your business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you can have the perfect strategy, you can have the perfect sales system, process, you can have everything all lined up. But if your mindset isn't right, it still will not work. So how you're having your brain on your side and working with you is absolutely paramount to the success of your business. So I'm very process, I'm very structured, I like my list and I like all those. So, but even before I start any of that, I have to look when I'm working with a new client of why do you feel you're where you are and why do you feel that your productivity, why do you feel that you're why do you feel overwhelmed, why do you feel those feelings of frustration, where is that coming from? And it's always to do with mindset, the way that they see things, and focusing on the bad rather than the good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your mind is like a muscle. So if you don't exercise a muscle, it's going to start to deteriorate, and your mind is exactly the same.
Yeah. And see, I always love learning. And I've
Yeah,
always read a lot of books about, you know, doing things differently. But just
yeah,
so that, so is that probably, have you seen a lot of women have trouble even putting that into words
yeah,
because of that?
yeah. Yeah, because it's about understanding. And sometimes you hear people, they go, oh, yeah, I'm a really positive person.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you actually listen to what they say, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about repetition. So if you're constantly telling yourself, oh, I'm rubbish at that, oh, I'm not very good at that, oh, God, I've done a really bad job again today, your brain just likes instructions. So if you're saying that to your brain, so let's say you're saying, oh, I'm rubbish, or I'm rubbish at that, your brain goes, oh, right, okay, we're rubbish at that. So then it constantly starts looking for evidence to prove you right because that's what it wants to do. Whereas if you, like you said about turning it around, then it's a completely different way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you focus on the good, gratitude, and actually just feeling happy, good, that's all it is. Mindset is just about feeling good. Because if you think everything is energy, so if you can raise your vibration and raise your energy levels, then like attracts like. So good energy is going to come into you. So if you're grateful, you're thankful for what you've got now, and that energy level's high, then you're going to attract at that energy level. Whereas if you're negative, you're moaning about everything and looking at things from a negative point of view, you're going to vibrate on that energy level. So you're going to, everything's going to start coming in at that energy. And you can do, because I know that if you're not really into mindset or you're not, when people used to say that to me, I was like, yeah, whatever. And honestly, I just like, yeah, really, whatever. But you can test it for yourself. So in the morning, if you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I've got to get that done today. I need to do that. The kids, oh my God, look at the time. We're late getting up. Got to get the kids to school. The traffic's going to be a nightmare. My boss is going to go mad now because I'm really late for work. Stop and start thinking, actually, do you know what? I'm really grateful that I've got a job to go to. I'm really glad that I'm here and I'm able to take the children to school. Really glad because the sun shines outside. I'm really glad because it's Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for the family that I've got around me. You watch the difference in the energy that you feel. And it's absolutely amazing. So if you think, it all sounds a little bit woohoo to me, then just stop and just try it for yourself. Next time you feel yourself getting a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit bogged down with negativity, just stop for a second, breathe, and start thinking of all the things. Sometimes I've got grateful for things that, like my bed. I love my bed. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for the fact that I live in a safe country, or safe-ish country. I'm grateful that I've got clean, fresh water to drink. Yes. It's amazing the amount, and you've always got something to be thankful for. Always.
100% agree. I mean, in America, we are one of the richest, most entitled places in the world. If you ever went to another country, you will see that. And we take it for granted.
Yes.
And I've learned a lot. I've followed Manifestation Babe. It was the first time I heard about, the laws of attraction and that. And at first I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, this doesn't coincide with my faith, but it really does. But I'm not going to get into that. But it's to reframe how you think of something too. Like if you look at your business and you are comparing and you see that, someone else is doing 1,000 times better than you, instead of saying, well, I suck, look at it and say, well, I'm doing this to get to this point. Or, if you see something that maybe you don't have the money in your bank account that you want, well, I'm working towards, whatever you're working towards. Maybe you can't get that absolute positivity, but do you notice that even if you do that little bit of reframing, that helps to offset that if it's someone who can't really jump straight into that because they don't believe it? If we don't believe it doesn't matter what it's not gonna, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna relate to us. Our brain's gonna go, yeah, right. I know better. I saw the checking account. I saw your business. I know how many clients you have, So have you seen that to be effective as well for someone who struggles with that?
Yeah, and it's about, like you say, it's almost about reprogramming. So a lot of women that I work with are very much the same as I was. So feeling overwhelmed, feeling like everything's going at 100 miles an hour, feeling a little bit out of control. So it is about, and that's the program that they're working on. I can't get it all done. I've got too much to do. I don't know what to focus on. I don't know how to think. So it's about reprogramming that. But the important thing is to layer it. So if somebody comes to me and I go, right, I'm going to change everything. It never works because it's overwhelming in itself. So you're trying to get rid of overwhelm and you're overwhelming people because you're going, right, you need to change this, and this, and then you need to do this.
Because you're creating another part.
Of course. So it's literally about reprogramming small steps at a time and almost building new habits, one on top of the other. So you're creating solid practices. So instead of going, right, you've got to change everything. It's like when you try and get fit and healthy. So you go, right, I'm going to stop if you smoke and drink. So I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week and I'm going to eat healthily, all in one go. The likelihood is you're going to fail because it's just too much.
Yeah, it might work for a week.
Of course, yeah. And it's not about short term, it's about longevity. And that's why I always say to people, we do it a step at a time and you recreate or reprogram one thing at a time. And once you're happy with that and you've kind of fitted that in and you're doing that comfortably, now we'll move on to the next thing. So and then all of a sudden you look and go, oh wow, look how much I've changed.
Yes, yeah. It's all about those habits.
Yeah. Good habits replacing bad habits, but then doing it at a pace that you can cope with and that allows you the change that you need, but without creating overwhelm and setting yourself up for failure, because you just can't do all of that in one go.
So important. So important.
Definitely.
To listen to.
Absolutely.
I don't want to take up your entire day. I know we have the Facebook glitches, you know, transparency. Not a Facebook glitch. It's a Tammy doesn't know what the heck she was doing trying to get Facebook going.
Well, do you know what? Facebook. It must have been Facebook's fault. It's fine.
So what is, and I think we've really already touched on this, but what is the biggest takeaway that you would like other entrepreneurs to get from our discussion today? One thing that they can start implementing today to help them get rid of some of the overwhelm.
Oh gosh, so many. I would, first of all, don't overwhelm yourself and set yourself up for failure. So start with little steps. So rather than giving yourself massive lists of things to do, like we said, 3 things that you're going to do today that are going to move you closer to your goal. And then, so you're setting yourself up for success and you're programming your brain to celebrate those small wins, rather than going, right, here's my list of 528 things that I need to get done today, and setting yourself up for failure. So 3 things that I'm going to do today that are my priority, that are going to move me closer to my goals. If you get those done by lunchtime and you want to move on to the next 3, then that's absolutely great. But 3 things. As long as you get those 3 things done by the end of the day, then you can do your happy dance around your kitchen, and then you can set yourself up for failure, for success again tomorrow.
That's awesome. Good advice. How can everyone get in touch with you?
I've got a Facebook community in which we offer. It's designed for female entrepreneurs. They've all got their own businesses from all sorts of different backgrounds. It's a great group for support, guidance, asking any questions, putting your thoughts in there and kind of getting a bit of feedback on there. We also do free trainings and challenges as well. So we've just done a 3-day motivation challenge, which was really, really great. So I can post, once you've posted the video, if you want me to, I can post the link to my group. If anybody watches the video and they've got any questions or comments or anything like that, then I'll keep popping back and having a look, and I'll be absolutely happy to answer any questions that anybody's got as well.
That's amazing. Also put your website in there.
Yes, I will. Although I will pre-warn you that it's just been because I've changed a lot of what I've done over the last few months. So it's just undergoing a revamp, which hopefully within the should be by the end of November. But yes, I will. I'll put it there. And then as soon as it's up and running, then obviously people can access that on there as well.
Yes, that's awesome. Because this will continue to be in the Facebook group for anyone to watch. Plus, since the podcast, in the show notes for the podcast as well.
Cool.
Way in the future, people know how to get a hold of you.
Cool.
So appreciate your time and your understanding.
Oh gosh, don't worry. I've done. No, not at all. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you very, very much for inviting me on.
And thank you for coming on. And
you're welcome.
Have a great rest of your day and a great week.
Thank you too, and I shall catch up with you soon.
Bye.
All right. Lots of love. Bye-bye.